Hi, Erica McClain here. Are you thinking about selling your home but don't know what to expect? Well, you're not alone. Many homeowners feel left in the dark during the selling process. But today, I'm walking you through every step from listing to closing so you'll know exactly what to expect, no surprises. Plus, stick around to the end because I'll share the biggest mistake sellers make and how to avoid it. Okay, so your house is now ready to go on the market. You've got it where your agent had the photographer come in and took professional photos, listing agreement, property disclosures are signed. And one thing I will tell you, if your agent is asking you to pay money up front, which a lot of them do, I don't understand how they get away with it. I would be embarrassed to even have that in my contract. Uh, I would be a little leery about listing with that agent. You shouldn't be paying as the seller anything up front. All the marketing and everything we do, that comes out of my pocket. So if I don't get your home sold, I'm out that money. So once all that is done, um, what I do on my listings, I do a lot of coming soon marketing, teasers, and stuff like that. But now it's listed and we're ready for showings. So here's what you can expect. We want to make it as easy as possible for agents to schedule. So I go through Showing Assist so they can schedule online in the MLS. So when they're showing multiple properties, they add them into a showing cart and then um, request appointments. A lot of times, it's not going to be an exact time, it's going to be a time frame. The reason for that is if the agent is showing multiple properties, unless you're first on the list, it's really hard to determine how long it's going to take to get from one property to the next. Not even drive time. Just they might go to one property and the buyers really like it, so they stay a really long time. Now they're running behind schedule. Or they go to that property and for whatever reason they don't like the block, the house is too small, and they're in and out really quick. Now, a lot of agents tell you you should not be home for showings. I call BS on that. I don't agree with it. It's your home. If you want to be there for showings, be there. If you don't want to be there, I always suggest waiting until they show up to then leave. Because if you've got an hour time frame between 1 and 2, say you leave the house at 1:45, then you're maybe hanging around till a little bit after 2, and maybe they showed up right after you left and they were in and out because for whatever reason that house just doesn't meet their needs. Now you're out wasting time when you could have been at home doing something. For my sellers that prefer to be at home during the showings, I tell them just try and stay like out of their way. Even though the seller tends to usually want to give them a tour and point things out, they're coming with the buyer's agent. Yes, most likely this buyer's agent has never walked through your property, but they need to be kind of left alone. If you're taking them around and showing them, they kind of feel rushed and a little uneasy. So I always tell my sellers, unless you have some weird, strange feeling when they walk in that you're worried about, then by all means, it's your home. Follow them room to room. Also tell my sellers, if they start asking you questions, whether it's the buyer or the agent, sometimes they've got a reason for that. They're fishing for information, maybe to see how motivated you are, stuff like that. So I always tell my sellers, so that you don't look rude, tell them I'm sorry, Erica told me any questions regarding the property have to go through her. Unless they're asking something like how old the roof is or just something general like that. I kind of leave it up to my sellers to decide that. We do get agents that don't show up at all. I always tell my sellers, call me right away. Big pet peeve of mine. I keep a black list of them. They ever call and ask me for a favor, I'm going to be thinking twice whether I want to do any favors for them. It's the most unprofessional thing. Takes them 30 seconds right on the app on their phone to just say, we're not going to make it or cancel the appointment. So this way the seller isn't waiting to have dinner or, give their kids a bath, something like that. So it is something I always warn my sellers to expect because it happens. Then we try and get feedback from the agents. That's a whole nother nightmare. I don't know why the agents can't just take the 30 seconds to fill out the form that they're emailed. It's 5 multiple choice questions and a small spot for them to make comments. Even maybe it was their first time taking these buyers out, so they don't really know yet what they're looking for. Okay, you as the agent, just fill it out and put that in the comments. They're not ready to make any decisions, but at least you did it. But I do have assistants that will constantly hound them for this information. I actually once had an agent that she called the office and I could overhear her on the phone with my assistant. She was calling to complain that she kept getting so many emails. So I said, give me the phone. Her thing, she had the nerve to tell me she's too busy to give feedback. I told her, do you realize all of the emails that you had to delete because you didn't fill one out? And you calling right now to complain about it took way more time than if you would have filled it out. I said, do the professional courtesy. The seller allowed you to see their property, so be professional. Well, she wasn't too happy with that, but that's how I feel. So I didn't care that she wasn't happy with it. I once had an agent call and say, I think there's something wrong with your system. I keep getting this feedback request again and again and again. And I said, oh, really? Maybe there is. I'll have to check. And I said to him then, did you try filling out the feedback form? Maybe that'll stop it. This is what we deal with a lot of agents, unfortunately. Okay, I will tell you this too. When you are home for a showing, having people, strangers, come through your house is the most uncomfortable feeling for most sellers. So just be prepared for that. I know I told you to stick around to the end because I was going to tell you the big mistake. I'm going to make this into a series because there's just too much information to give you in one video. But I will tell you the biggest mistake they make is picking the wrong agent. Communication is key with everything. And that is always the biggest complaint that I hear from sellers, that most of them were unsuccessful the first time getting their property sold. Even the ones that did get it sold felt like there was no communication. They had no idea what was going on. I don't know why their agents don't communicate with them. They need to know what's going on. I even give my sellers, it's like a glossary, a dictionary page of what all the different terms mean, because I'll do it myself. Even talking to a seller, I'm, using words that we use, every day, talking about contingencies and kick out clauses and all this kind of stuff, proration on taxes, you know, not thinking that they have no clue what the heck I'm talking about. So that's one of the things that I include for all of my sellers, just so they have it, as a guide, so they know what all these terms mean. But I want to thank you so much for watching. I hope you got some useful information out of this. I hope you'll be back for another video. So please like, subscribe, hit the ring bell so you'll be notified. And that's, I guess, kind of a wrap for this video because, like I said, a lot of information. So look for part 2 coming soon. So I will say bye for now, and thanks again for watching.